And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our great shows. And if you can, please give us that 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Plus, if you could like, share, subscribe, follow, or do whatever it is that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, of course, the great folks at LakersBall.com. Go ahead and check out the man himself, Ox1947, aka Joe Soro, today at LakersBall.com. Also, want to go ahead and mention that you can have your lawn transformed by Ox1947 today if you live in the Southern California area, and you can do that at Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com. Plus, our good friends at Lakerholics.com. Go ahead and check out Jamie Sweet and Laker Tom, the number one Lakers blogger that's out there at Lakerholics.com. Plus, our good friends at the Hoop Heads Podcast Network. And a big shout out also to our good friend John McCallion on his own channel, the John McCallion channel on YouTube. And if you could subscribe to our channel, his channel, and go ahead and like, share, and do whatever it is that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break and all of our good friends, it is sincerely appreciated. Well, the Lakers, after that terrible overtime loss to the Celtics, needed to regroup, but in the midst of the waiting for the next game to happen on Friday against the Denver Nuggets, got some bad news for the Golden State Warriors, which might mean good news for the Lakers. Steph Curry is going to be out several weeks with a shoulder injury, and that might change the trajectory of a couple teams at the back end of the Western Conference. And one of those teams that could be affected in a positive way if they get their gear on right and get into a positive mindset is the Los Angeles Lakers. And it needed to start with some wins. And tonight against the Denver Nuggets, it looked like it was going to be a very competitive game. Only down by 1 at the half, even after a 20-2 run by the Denver Nuggets. Austin Reeves carried them in the second quarter. And please, can we just not have the MVP chance? I just really do not want to hear the MVP chance for Austin Reeves. He's playing well. Please let it go with the MVP chance. But he did play well in the second quarter. The Lakers did go very well against them. Just their defensive issues right there at 65-64 at the half. But unfortunately, some bad news as the second half, a right foot injury sustained in the first half by Anthony Davis kept him out in the second half, which under normal circumstances with a guy who's playing like an MVP would spell doom for the Los Angeles Lakers. But you know what? The Lakers took charge late in the third quarter with a big run and sustained that with an even bigger run halfway through the fourth quarter. Some good moves as far as some decisions made on some substitutions. I do want to take the fact that Darvin Ham should get some credit for playing Max Christie ahead of Kendrick Nunn in the rotation. The bench did an outstanding job outscoring the Denver bench by over 40 or almost 40 points right there for you. So that's really a great sign. Thomas Bryant stepped up. Defensively, he was still outmatched by Nikola Jokic, but his hustle on the offensive end really helped out. And transition really helped the Los Angeles Lakers. As I always say, that's the best point in time when the Lakers are really going strong, and they win, pulling away in the fourth quarter, 126-108. And here today, along with the greatest Lakers Fast Break chat room that's out there, there is no better Lakers chat room than the Lakers Fast Break. It's a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today as Ox1947 at, of course, LakersBall.com. It is Joe Soro. Joe, again, a very strong win. They needed this. I don't want to say they got somewhat energized by another team that's just directly above them having some ill fortune, and I'm hoping Steph Curry does get back into the lineup whenever he can, but it looks like he's going to be out some weeks. But that did have to give the Lakers a little sign that says, hey, you know what? If we just get on even a little bit of the roll, or just even get to 500 by the end of the year, we can get back into playing and look maybe even towards a playoff seed.
Well, it's helped. This was the first game for the season where the role players really picked up the team.
Mhm.
It was just beautiful to watch. You saw.
More MVP chance for Reeves. Come on.
I think the Laker fans are a little bored right now,
Please.
and delusional.
You
So
think?
I'll give them a little bit of a rope here
Let
or
the
a
kid just
leash.
play. Let the kid just play.
I I I I
It just
I
irritates me, Joe. It
I
irritates me.
I saw this game tonight. As you
Why weren't they
guys,
why weren't they chanting Thomas Bryant MVP, MVP, MVP? Because he was playing so well.
we
It
love
irritates me.
we love our Kurt Rambuses.
I
It's
know I get
this has
that,
been
as
this
do
has
I,
been
but I
this
wasn't
is
chanting MVP, MVP, MVP as he was getting clotheslined by Kevin McHale.
we love our Kurt Rambuses, Kurt Rambus, Alex Caruso, our boy now Austin Reeves. It is what it is. We're just gonna have to accept it. And Reeves has been the most consistent role player this season. And then we got a chance to see Max Christie come out of his shell a little bit there. And I got to admit, man, the little run he had on defense and offense helped kind of ignite that team in the third quarter when Denver had kind of came out and was like, oh man, is this going to be another third quarter, a typical Laker third quarter? And then Thomas Bryant turned into, I don't know, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
But his
And
hustle, especially in transition, where he was beating Nikola Jokic up and down the floor, that was really fun to
yeah,
watch.
it looked like, and I'm not trying to discredit the Lakers' effort in this game. I'm gonna say I think Denver didn't expect this kind of performance from the second unit guys and the role players.
No.
And they kind of, I don't know, they looked like they kind of checked out towards the end of the third, and they really never recovered in the fourth. Lakers were playing stout defense, don't get me wrong, but Denver looked like they were playing on a back to back, not just a back to back, and they looked like they just wanted to go home. But that sometimes happens in a 82 game season, and a game in December before the holidays. So, but I'll take it. I'm not gonna lie. I was quite surprised that they were able to extend the lead
Without
through the fourth
AD.
without AD. And my hope is usually foot injuries are not a good sign that that they're gonna come back quick. I'm hoping that he stubbed something instead of maneuvered something on his foot. If that's the case, then we should see him in the next game. But it was nice to see them pick up the slack a little bit. And this is what we've been talking about on the show is the reason why it's so hard to win these games is whenever AD or LeBron are not in or are not the focal point or can't rest is, can these guys kind of pick up the slack in an 82 game season? And they really haven't until tonight. Tonight was really the first time I really felt comfortable, even at the 8-minute mark. I was like, you know what? I don't know if they're going to lose this thing. They just look like they got an extra step tonight, and Denver's got 2 steps behind them. And I watched this game, by the way, Gerald. Before we got on air, I told you I watched this game in 3 phases. 1 in a bar in San Diego. 2 in my truck on my phone, and then towards the end when I got home. And that right there is why my participation is so difficult on the playbacks, is because I can only do so much as one person. So technology has allowed me to use these resources to watch the game and then obviously allow us at the end of the game to come here and not miss a beat. And so God bless the internet, God bless smartphones, and God bless the TV contract for the Lakers with DirecTV or Sportsnet, because, man, I don't know how the heck we would be able to do this show with all this beautiful technology. So those who say they wish of, the past and all this stuff, forget all that. I'm very happy being where we are right now. And obviously we're all really, really happy right now with winning a game that I thought we had a good chance in. And the Lakers actually, kind of won the game like they were supposed to win it.
I will say, first off, Richard, Z, great to have you here. Hello, great to have you here. Everyone, great to have you here as far as the Lakers fast break. Looks like, Richard, you've been working really hard, 16-hour shifts. More power to you. We wish you and everyone out there in the chat all the best, especially this holiday season. Want to again mention that the Lakers did win, pulling away 126-108. No worries. We are always welcome to just have you here whenever you can make it by, Richard. So no problem. We know you're working hard out there, but thanks so much for watching, listening when you can. It is once again a Lakers fast break. I do want to mention Dave McMenamin on Twitter just posted that Darvin Ham termed Anthony Davis injury a foot issue, quote unquote. He said x-rays were administered at the arena tonight and that the team would have more information on Davis's injury tomorrow. So just wanted to go ahead and make sure that is known by everyone out there. Hopefully, if that's the case, we'll retweet it for you at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. But I just wanted to mention that. I also want to mention that real quickly, I did just sort of kind of glanced over it about Max Christie coming in. He hit a couple key shots for the Lakers, really looked pretty good in his short time out there, plus 15, couple three-pointers. The thing was, he played above none. He was moved above none. It was announced before the game on Twitter by Dave McMenamin that he would be moved above none in the rotation for today's game because he had been playing very well at South Bay. And that's something I think that a lot of coaches don't really remember, is that when you bring a guy up who's on a two-way, who's been really on a hot streak, it's important to get him into that game to see if he's worth something, especially if he's been on a hot streak somewhere else, like in the G League per se. So I really like that fact that he was able to utilize Max Christie's current hot streak to some effectiveness here in the game. Also as well was able to go ahead and get good minutes out of Thomas Bryant and of course Austin Reeves and Russell Westbrook, giving you very solid contributions off the bench. Russell Westbrook with a triple-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, plus 25. Austin Reeves, the new MVP of the NBA, according to the LA fans, 16 points, 4 rebounds, and a plus 26. And, of course, Thomas Bryant with 21 points and 6 rebounds. Again, they outscored the bench of Denver by 40 points, which was the big key to this game.
You know, it's interesting. Max Christie, I look at the shot. I look at the shot, especially for someone like Max Christie, who is drafted because of his shooting ability. I look at that shot a little bit more in depth. That guy did not miss. He missed, I should say, he hit nothing but net on those shots.
2 of 5 on threes.
Those two shots that went in at that particular time, those were massive momentum shifting shots. He didn't even hit the rim. That's how what is it, Shaq? What does Shaq say? Even though I don't know what the hell that sound is. To me, a net doesn't sound like that, but that's how he says it. But those two shots, we've talked about this, about the shots in the second, third, fourth quarter, and you even corrected me on something a few shows ago, and I have to admit I was wrong and kind of contradicted myself.
Did you just say you have to admit you were wrong?
Yeah, I was wrong.
I was right wrong.
On? And we were dead on that, because I kind of that was kind of the whole philosophy of what I would say, and then all of a sudden I think I must have made a mistake in terms of what I was thinking, and you're like, no, you said this, and I'm like, I remember after we got off air, I'm like, wait a minute. I totally screwed that up. Gerald caught me on that one. But again, the momentum shifting plays, how that plays a part in this. And of course, his defense, that block, or that, I should say, kind of distraction that led to the offensive rebound, and then Russell Westbrook scoring, those are the plays where the role player becomes a earning of the win, an earning of a championship. We look back on championship teams, okay? Guys like KCP, guys like Kuzma, guys like Rick Fox, guys like B. Shaw. Yeah, they're not Shaq, they're not Kobe, but these guys are just as important in terms of getting to that last win, to win the game, to the last part of it. they're just as important. Otherwise, it's still a team game at the end of the day, and you got to give credit where credit is due. And I'm just happy to see a rookie come in and finally kind of make his mark here. And it really did help. I really, really, really feel like that was a turning point in the game, and they never looked back after that. They were pretty much in control the whole way.
When it comes to though Max Christie, it wasn't because it was a potential thing. And Z noted that he was projected to be a first round pick for this upcoming draft, but he came out early and he went into the second round. And when it came to judging him, it wasn't by off of results because he was lousy at Michigan State off of the 3-pointers, but his free throw shooting percentage was good. And how was his stroke? His stroke looked like something that was clean. It was pure. It was, if you see the foundations of a good shot can be there with the right work and the right attitude, you can see potential of him becoming a big contributor in this league. So the potential is there. As a 6'6" guard who can play good defense if he just gets a little bit stronger, I see some good things down the road for him possibly if he continues to project that well. But he had been playing very well at South Bay, so I think that was the reason why he was inserted ahead of Nunn in the rotation. And that was a big key to what happened down the stretch to pull away from the Nuggets tonight.
Yeah, Nunn seems to be at a crossroads in his career at the moment. You would have thought there would be some motivation to really go another level up, being that it's a contract season. I thought that might have played a part in him possibly being a contributor to this team. Last year, he obviously had the injury excuse. This year, he wasn't injured. He was available. I thought, you know what? I'm going to assume I'm not at the practices. Unfortunately, I can't get in there, but I'm assuming that maybe he's looking at, hey, if I play really well here and help this team, and they do need my help, maybe I can get my next big contract. Unfortunately, Kendrick Nunn is just not effective at this point, and you might as well just play the young guys and see what they got. And tonight we got the benefit of that with Max Christie and the latter parts of the fourth quarter. I think the most encouraging part of this was LeBron didn't have to expend too much energy, and then when it was time to kind of close the game, he had enough to close the game, and that's pretty much what he did. He did play 36 minutes, which I am not comfortable with.
But he had to, no choice.
But he had to, and I think if AD had played, he might have played maybe 30, 32 minutes, which I would say is okay. I still would prefer him to play 28 to 30. But it is what it is, and I think even LeBron has come to the realization that there's going to need to be some stroke of luck the rest of the way. There's going to need to be some health luck on our side, which at this moment is not working out. I'm hoping that AD isn't permanently out for a while. If he is, we're going to have to go into every game until he comes back, hoping that the role players can do what they did tonight.
I know that, Richard, you're talking about possible trade assets because as of the 15th, 88% of the league is now trade eligible, according to Bobby Marks. He posted that yesterday, and I thought that was a great conversation. So yesterday started unofficially the trade talk time period where teams will start really ramping up the trade talk. I know Cam Reddish's name has been out there, but they don't even play him regularly on their rotation. So if the Lakers are interested in Cam Reddish, they better not give up a whole lot. And when you're talking also about what you're saying about Kuzma, because Kyle Kuzma's name has also appeared in rumors, I don't mind bringing him back as a fan favorite of mine, but you got to remember the kid can't shoot very well from the outside. He will shoot a lot from the outside, but doesn't shoot it well. He plays outstanding defense and rebounds so much better than what he did when he first started. Plays, remember he was just like a matador on defense and could not rebound worth a darn when he first started in this league, and now he's totally the opposite. Still can't shoot very well, but that I don't know how much that helps our team overall. It brings us a little bit more depth, obviously, especially the way he's playing, but I just don't know how it doesn't help your spacing. And that's one thing the Lakers still need, because you see them, in the times that they struggled in tonight's game was in the half court, was being able to go ahead and, work on things that they need to do in the half court. And one of the things that was hurting them was their spacing issue. I hope you noticed that, Joe, when you were at your 3 different spots tonight that you were watching the game from, is that, when they're out in transition, if they can go ahead and push the ball and push the pace, as I have stressed ad nauseum on the show, no matter how Laker Tom or anybody else tells me they just got to shoot 3-pointers more than they got to worry about transition. Transition is the key, because you see in the half court, they really still struggle with their spacing issues.
There's no spacing because there's no threat of a consistent outside shot.
Yeah.
Now, the
So
other
I don't know how much Kuzma really helps with
Kuzma can't shoot at this moment. He's a streaky shooter. He is a player that is still got some room to improve. He obviously has the stats physically to be an eye candy type player, like a 6'10" long player, which is ideal, right? An ideal small forward is a 6'10" lanky guy who can move, which is what Kuzma is. The problem with Kuzma is he's just too inconsistent shooting the ball, which I mean, if he could do that at a 40 to 42% clip, he could even become an all-star if he could do that. But he's just not that guy. He does play good team defense. We saw that during the 2020 title run. He at least made up for his deficiency missing open shots with good defense, and he's got a great attitude. I really, really, really like Kyle Kuzma. I think he's a good person, and I think he's good for a locker room, and I like him, and he has some talent. But this team, unfortunately, still needs depth up front, even as nice as Thomas Bryant played tonight. Thomas Bryant would be the quintessential backup center, backup power forward, whatever, and he would be so valuable as a bench big. It would be game-changing. But he is not a starter type. That won't work. So now the Lakers have to really evaluate what they're really truly going to do. And then maybe they have. I'm thinking Rob and Jeannie are sitting back going, if we're going to be playing this merry-go-round of AD getting hurt and LeBron getting hurt every now and then why would we risk assets to get a Reddish, to get a Kuzma, to get a role player that really at the end of the day won't really make that much of a difference in terms of a championship? It's a really, really tough spot. It's a really, really tough spot. And I'm not trying to keep Jeannie and Rob out of the problem here. The reason why we're in this is because of them and the way they've managed it. So what I'm assessing now is the current position. I'm not thinking about what they've done in the past. It's already done. I'm not gonna. We've talked about that ad nauseum. I don't want to talk about that unless, of course, the questions come from our audience about it. As of right now, what players are they going to get? And I say players, not one, probably not even two. It's going to likely be 3 or 4 that they would be able to bring in with the current assets they have, meaning expiring contracts and draft picks. Who could they get to where they're like, you know what, if AD can somehow navigate through this season, LeBron can navigate through this season, and they're healthy for the playoff run, could these 2, 3, or 4 guys get us on a run? Does that really happen in the NBA? I don't know. I'm at a question mark at that point. I just don't know.
Zangerstein says, she says, Joe, I get what you're saying, but it's better to do something because that's a step instead of doing nothing.
I'm not going to argue against it. It's a battle of attrition.
Did you hear that? See, he's not only not going to argue with you, he actually said I was right. All in the same episode.
Hold on, you guys are going crazy on this. I'm not going to argue against logic. You guys should know this by now.
I'm kidding you. We're both kidding you. We're both kidding you. We just got to give you some stuff, man.
Yes, I'm not trying. I don't care about. Look, what's right is right. You ever heard that term? A lot of the old gangsters used to use it. What's right is right. It has nothing to do with Gerald Glassford or Richard or Zanger or me. What's right is right. Hey, if you guys got an opportunity to make this team a competitive team in the playoffs, hey, we're all going to support it. But what is the likelihood of that happening? We don't know at this moment. We're going to have to probably wait. And as far as me being in a good mood, I guess the Lakers winning will always put me in a good mood. But guys, you have to understand what we've been talking about here. Okay, if the Lakers are doing things right, we're going to express it. There's nothing tonight that I saw that shouldn't be in any way putting anyone in any other thing but a good mood. They played very well tonight. The bench, the role players, LeBron, even AD to a certain extent. I mean, I think Russell Westbrook was a plus 26. Reeves was a plus 25. Look, you got to give credit where credit is due. When you stink, we're going to tell you stink. When you're great, we're going to tell you you're great. It's just analyzing what we're watching. It's got nothing to do with the mood, guys. I'm a pretty happy guy throughout the day. I will, unleash because I'm a human being too. Sometimes I'm frustrated with certain things that I wish would go my way. But ultimately, we're going to try to analyze what we're watching and not be this just one-way thing and just be about one thing just because it maybe might be more entertaining.
Once again, it's the Lakers pulling away from the Denver Nuggets, 126-108 in the fourth quarter. Just took over. Like you said, I know LeBron had to come in real quickly. I only took a short break, came in right about around the 7-minute mark, and that's when they took off from there and really pulled away from the Nuggets. And that's great. That was awesome. That was something I was concerned about because it got to a point where it was in double digits. And there was a point where it was around 13-15 where the Lakers, it felt that same way against the Celtics as it did in the fourth quarter with the Celtics, where, the Lakers were ahead by 13 and against the Celtics. And you're like, oh, they can only score that one more basket. That should be enough. And they didn't. And ultimately, we know what happened there. Here, they were up by 13-15, and you're like, just think to yourself, if they could just get that one more basket, that'll just, put it over the top. It'll take the wind out of the sails of the Denver Nuggets and really just, drive home the fact that we're going to go ahead and take this game. And actually, we ended up getting it. A couple transition points later, a couple baskets later, and there you go. That's what we needed to get. Was really a strong statement at the end of the game of us pulling away. I really think that was a really helpful thing for the entire team. And to do it without AD in the second half was really a strong showing.
I didn't sense any of the Celtic feeling in this game. Heck, I didn't even feel it even with 3.5 minutes left in the Celtic game. I told you on the last show, the play that cost us the Celtic game was that inbound blunder that gave the Celtics, I think it was Marcus Smart. The reason why I don't know what happened really was they were showing replays, so I didn't really see the play. But that play is really, in my opinion, the button on what created that run. Had they not done that, I think the Lakers would have probably ended up winning that game. And it's those things where the focus of this team, the little intricacies of things that we've been pointing out, and it goes to not just the role players. I'm talking about the main guys. Those little details in today's NBA, especially in today's NBA, where no lead is safe. Those little details will cost you a game. They will cost you a game, and not only will it cost you a game, you will get blown out before you even know it. That's just what it is right now. It's just what it is. And when they were kind of getting smacked around in the beginning of the third quarter, I was going through this mindset because I obviously heard that AD wasn't going to come back. I went into this whole mode in my head of, what are we going to start talking about when it comes to the NBA? What are we really going to start dissecting? Because when you sense a problem, you need to do some research and figure out what's going on here. Why were there only 5 people that played 82 games last year in an era where medicine, technology, and therapy is at its highest in human history? I was really thinking about that at the beginning of the third quarter. It obviously shifted as I was, seeing that they were starting to get things together and they were starting to get the lead and it extended it and then it never relinquished it. Then I started getting into the mode where I'm just paying attention to the basketball. But I'm really trying to understand what's going on here. There was always injuries in the NBA. I'm not saying there wasn't, but I just can't figure out what is the problem right now. Is it stress? Is it the fact that it's a faster game? Is it the fact that it's got more possessions? I really want to understand this, and this might be a really good segment that could be just its own show to figure out what is the difference between the 90s player, the 2000 player, and the 2010 player versus now. What is going on here? What changed? That's actually the other part of this discussion that I was thinking about while the game was going on.
I mean, well, when it comes to the evolvement of basketball itself and the basketball game, the game of basketball, it just seems to me that it's evolved so much from the time I saw it, first started seeing it to what it is now. In many ways, I think it's gotten better. In some ways, you could say it's changed, maybe not for the best, but for most parts of it, I think it has changed for the better. I love it as far as more of a free flowing game. I love the advent of the 3 pointer. I know you're not a big fan of it as I am, but I'm all for anything that's going to increase the scoring, and that's for me is just something that I think it's been better. I know that, like you said, it's come at the risk of fundamentals, which has been very sad to see. If I see one more guard or one more forward, pass up a 1 foot layup to go ahead and pass it out for a 20-foot 3 pointer, that to me is going to make me sick. But for the most part, I think that, like you said, things have evolved and changed. And for me, I think it's evolved and changed for the better in most ways.
I just don't know. In terms of the scoring, in terms of the ability to be, I guess, more potent on offense. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the rules enhance that as well. But I'm still in complete confusion of what is going on in the NBA and why players are not able to play 82 games a season. I don't understand it. You're talking about, I'm trying to compare it into my head. What is in the most brutal era in the 1990s? I don't remember players missing games unless they had debilitating injuries. Everyone played 82 games if they could. In this era, it's almost like an eclipse if you play 82 games and you're available every game. And I don't know. That was what was going on in my head on my way home before watching the game, before we obviously went on to the show, is what is going on here? What is the deal? And what is this something that can be solved? I just don't understand it.
Well, I will say, though, that for the game that we did see today, a lot of encouraging signs, obviously coming off the devastating loss at Boston. And if they're still feeling it from last week at Philadelphia as well, not being able to go ahead and take it down the stretch. But I do say that today's performance was the kind of performance that we should have gotten yet also on Tuesday as well, with the game, us pulling away in the fourth quarter. And I mean, they only just got one more basket in that fourth quarter against Boston, man. And Philadelphia only gotten a free throw. My gosh, things would be so much different. But I will say right now, the Lakers are right now, after today's victory, 12-18. How it sits out in the standings right now is the Lakers are still in 12th place in the Western Conference, but they're only a game and a half out of the play-in game. Let's put the good news right there for you. They're only a game out of 13th seed Golden State, which did just lose Stephen Curry for amount of weeks. We're not sure what the amount of weeks are. He doesn't need surgery, which I'm thankful for him as an NBA fan. You don't want to see him out of the lineup too long, but we don't even know how long AD might be out of the lineup, especially with 2 games coming up against Washington and Phoenix. So we've got our own injury things to worry about. Hopefully we'll know more tomorrow when they give an initial, the official announcement. They might do an X-ray again. They might go ahead and do an MRI. Not sure what they're going to actually do, but they already did an X-ray on site, but they haven't given us any determination of how bad or the extent of what the injury is for the right foot of Anthony Davis. So all I can say right now is that the Lakers do have a chance if AD can come back, or if the Lakers can continue playing like this, to gain some ground on the Western Conference.
Well, I will bet my sweater that AD will not be playing on Sunday, regardless of what the prognosis is.
And don't ask for a sweater, because he'll just go to some garage sale, pick one up, and then just give it to you.
Yes, I am the garage sale type. Very good there, G.
How did I figure?
I don't fear Sunday's game. I know I shouldn't be saying
It'll
that.
have holes like rats have already eaten through it. Or moths,
Sorry, Gerald. I don't wear other people's clothes. I have a hard enough time buying.
Well, you didn't say any. You just said sweater.
I have a hard enough time buying used vehicles, let alone used clothes.
Well, you just said you would of your sweater. You would bet your sweater. You didn't say it was
but I didn't say I'd buy used sweaters at a garage sale. Come on.
No, you just said you buy you give them a sweater that was.
You blew off into a different stratosphere.
Okay, I was just trying to see.
I don't even know what you're talking about at this point.
If you lost the bet, I was just seeing how despicable.
I didn't even say anything about a bet.
Yeah, you did. You say you bet your sweater.
Well, I'm not talking about. It was supposed to be an expression. I guess I butchered it, but
okay.
I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'll bet I won't bet anything that.
Hello, saying if he wins, do you ship to the UK?
Can you ship to the UK? I mean, of course, yeah. Do whatever you. What would you like? You want a sweater delivered to the UK? Anyways, so here's the thing. Sunday, let's just. That's funny, Johnny. Let's pretty much assume that AD's not playing on Sunday. If we can come out with a win there and pray to the gods that AD just tweaked a little thing on his foot, he can be back for Monday's back-to-back in Phoenix. If you can steal that game, we are looking at a favorable week. I know Sacramento's good, but I feel like we're due to beat them in Sacramento.
CB, I'm just going to say this. I think that Jack in the Box is probably tired of giving away all those free tacos over the years. They just want the free advertising.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Well, it's not so free advertising because they pay.
The only good that those tacos were was in college when you were dead drunk.
You know what? I will always eat Jack in the Box tacos. No cheese, just Jack in the Box tacos. Straight.
Yeah, no, those came in handy during the college years when you didn't know where you were. I remember there was a Los Panchos at San Diego State, and then there was Jack in the Box tacos.
Yes, I like Frings. I want them to bring back Frings. And if anybody out there is my age, you know what Frings are, and I'll leave it at that.
I don't know what Frings are.
I don't know what Frings are.
French fries and onion rings in the same.
But I mean,
God.
But once again, it's the Lakers fast break, and also here today, coming in, good man indeed. Long time no see. Good to have him back. Hope he's feeling much better. It is a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out when he posts his 5 Things articles at Lakerholics.com. It is a guy who will never be banned on our show like journalists are banned on Twitter. It is Jamie Sweet. Jamie, I had to take a shot. It's irritating me to no end, that guy. But
why did you ever join Twitter in the first place? It's a garbage heap.
It's a necessity. I don't use it very much. I'm harmless on Twitter. I'm just actually harmless because I don't share my opinion on Twitter. I'm harmless. But my friend, great game. Great to have you here. You saw, even with the life could have been sucked out of the air real quickly for the Lakers, finding out AD was not going to come out there in the second half. Kind of looked like it was going in that direction until about late in the third quarter. The Lakers stayed close enough. All they needed to go ahead and do was get on a run. They finally did get on a good run late in the third quarter. And actually, after getting a little bit cut down to like 6-8, LeBron came back in the game at 7 minutes left, and really they kicked up into high gear. Transition. This team excels. They're in the top 5 in pace, top 5 in transition in the league, and it shows. And when they can do that, when they can get out and run, they're a hard team to stop.
I mean, any team in professional sport is hard to stop it. You get a pass or a play downfield in football, it's going to be hard to stop. You get a breakaway in hockey, that's going to be hard to stop. Fast break in basketball, that's going to be have to stop. When an offense breaks down or takes poor shots, and your defense is locked in, and you're rebounding the ball, which is the key part of transition, then you gotta embrace it. You can't let past failures deter you from future success. If you let past failures deter you from future success, I'm going to move myself up so I can see who's talking on the bar. There we go.
Yes, it says, that's Johnny 2K6. After he said Yami Swoot is into house. My 5 things for Lakers Fast Break podcast. 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. And last but not least, 1 star equals a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm not sure. Does that mean we're all? Is that he's giving us only 1 star, or I don't?
I got a 1 star because I did. I
1 star times 5, which is 5.
I get 1 stars from Boston Celtics fans because it always says the Lakers suck. That's that I can't help.
Oh man, then we all got to troll some Boston Celtics podcasts and give them 1 star just to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
That's my finger of justice pointing right there. So, but I mean, the Lakers, 2 Lakers thrive in transition. Russell Westbrook and LeBron James. They are at their best on the break in transition. They are not and will never be, and really have never been, excellent half-court players. LeBron is better than Russ. There's no argument there, but LeBron's at his best on the break. Most NBA players are at their best on the break. And I thought that you're correct that halfway through the third quarter we weren't
out of the game.
No, we weren't out of the game, and we weren't playing like how the team would have played last year, which would have been like, this game's over. What are we doing after this, guys? Where are we going? We go mini golf, everybody, mini golf. Great, we're going mini golfing. Or whatever they did after the game last season that was not helping them during the basketball games. Did you ever go by the
Castle Park mini golf down by the beach
in
Southern California?
Probably
near Redondo Beach.
No. I know what you mean. No, I haven't been to that one.
That place was huge when it was.
It's huge.
It closed many years ago.
No, now the huge place is in Irvine.
Okay.
That place goes off.
All right. They had a huge arcade and huge 4 different mini golf courses. That was
that's my favorite kind of place, man. I love those kind of places.
Yeah,
those
but unfortunately it doesn't sustain money. So
well, especially in Southern California.
After the 80s and 90s heyday of arcades. But anyways, I digress.
Why not talk about that? It's going to be as entertaining as
anything else. Remember, I'm the pop culture cosmos.
You even dropped the voice in. Oh man.
With the little head. Cosmos.
Come on.
I don't do the Laker Tom lean in when I do that.
You got to do the side thing.
That hurts my back when I do the Laker Tom lean in. So I can't.
Yeah, no.
You have a goatee?
No, you got to do. You have a goatee.
I've been doing 4 shows with this goatee with him for days, and he finally notices later on. He didn't even notice the tree. It took the whole people behind. It took our awesome Lakers chat room to know that I've got a Christmas tree.
You're kind of hiding it in this shot.
One of my favorite.
Oh, there you go. That looks great. There you go.
One of my favorite lines in movies is when Lumbergh in Office Space is talking to the Bobs, and they're trying to pump up Peter Gibbons, and no one talks about this line. So I feel like I'm the only one. And Lumbergh goes, yeah, I'm just not sure about that right now. I've said that line maybe 100,000 times, and no one on the planet knows what it's from. And that's just the easiest way to end a conversation. Yeah, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Meanwhile, they're just looking at you like,
oh, I love that. The other is when people are like, oh, hey, do you want to go and meet these people? And there's a great quote from Ben Stiller in Zoolander when he's partying a little bit with the Jim Carrey character. and now like Jim Carrey's trying to bring it up to another level, and Ben Stiller goes, yeah, I don't have any room in my life for any new friends, and it's just so
That's
it's
from
so perfect.
Cable Guy, not Zoolander.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're right, Cable Guy.
Yeah,
Cable Guy.
and then
my bad. You're absolutely right.
And another line that only me and my buddy Vince have said and know what it is really is Ben Stiller doesn't get enough credit for being a phenomenal director.
See what kind of mood we're in when the Lakers win?
He's got that side view where Jim Carrey's like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, so what are you trying to say?
Right.
And that's another line. If I hear something that's derogatory or combative, that's the best way to diffuse that argument. It's just
me, Richard? I'm the class clown? Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Gerald,
I don't want to be your friend.
Right. I don't have any room in my life.
That's Matthew Broderick played the perfect square guy. The porno password in that movie was like, my God. I know people thought it was too dark, but that is my kind of movie. Cable Guy with Jim Carrey, that is my kind of movie.
Yeah.
And I quote lines from that movie, 1990, what was it, 96? I still quote every day. Every day. I quote that movie in some way.
To your face, and you try to put over your face and go, sell it to the lads.
Jim Carrey is completely underrated.
All right, well, getting back to the
Imagine that. He's still underrated in my book.
Once again, it's the latest.
Thank God.
I was going to go back into my pop culture.
Sorry, we'll go back to the Lakers.
Once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. It's Joe Soro, a.k.a. Oxide 247. Yami Swoot is in the house. Jamie Sweet.
Good to see you, Jamie. Jesus Christ.
Great to see you guys.
Coming,
no problem. Sorry. It's the end of the year, man.
I was hoping he wasn't too mad because I scolded him last time on a possible copyright infringement. I was like,
no. Listen. Tom's been throwing me side-eyed insults on the blog all year long about how my lack of support for all of his wacky trades. And then when it came out that Genie was like not looking to trade, he like kind of lost his gourd and was like, he got a little, I'm just going to say he got a little childish. And I called him out on a little bit, and I haven't perused the blog since, just because I was like, you're in timeout, Laker Tom. I'll be back tomorrow, do Fiverr for the game. But, listen, if it's not fun, if we're not enjoying, knocking each other down a peg or two and making fun of Gerald for his pop culture cosmos voice, then I don't know why we're doing this, because it's certainly not for the money.
Big shout out to my good friend Melinda Barkhouse Ross, my Friday show host for the Pop Culture Cosmos.
You guys are great together, by the way. I've listened to a couple of those. I really enjoy. I don't really listen to podcasts. She's terrific.
She has 20 years of radio in Canada, and I feel blessed that actually I was able. She wanted to go ahead.
Yeah,
and do
she's
this,
smooth. She's super smooth.
She's just incredible. I appreciate it. And Josh, a fellow graduate of mine from National University, he and I have been doing it since 2016 on the Monday show. So I'm truly blessed to have two great voices with me, like I have here today.
I was about to say, geez Louise, what a joke.
I'm very blessed to have a whole bunch of great voices, whether it's the Magic
I don't know
Man,
if I consider us to be great voices, but we're certainly
Jamie
great
Sweet,
smartasses.
Joe Soro. I have people that want to entertain. We were talking about it earlier in the chat. Valuetainment. Joe is a valuetainment superstar. Right there.
Ooh,
so yes,
that's heady praise.
I like that.
I called him a legend.
That was brought up to me in the chat. So kudos to the chat for doing that. But
we got the best chat, man. We got the absolute best chat. We do.
But before we head on out, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Do want to mention again, the Lakers did win again, just pulling away 126-108.
I'm sorry, Mike. Can I ask a question real quick? I'm sorry. Yes. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead and finish your tagline.
Well, we don't know the status yet of AD. Joe is already convinced he will not play Sunday. Maybe Monday at Phoenix, because the Lakers are at home on Sunday against the Washington Wizards and then on the road Monday at Phoenix. You think he plays the next two games?
I think they took an MRI, and this is what I think. This is completely speculative. I have please nobody go out into the universe and be like, oh my God, this guy said, and he's on a show, and it's like really, really important information. It's just me blowing it out my blowhole. I think that he tweaked his foot. Sorry, I just saw Joe's face. after I said that. I think he tweaked his foot. Either he stepped on it. I mean, he had that play where like, I think it was like middle of the second quarter, early second quarter, where he did something and he like hopped down the court for a little bit. And then he seemed to be fine. He didn't seem compromised. He took shots, scored in the paint, played, defense. He ran up and down for like the whole rest of the half. So it can't be an Achilles because he would not be able to run.
Yeah.
It can't be debilitating enough. So I think it's either a plantar strain, a plantar fasciitis issue, a heel issue, or they are, and this is what I believe, they are like, you tweaked your foot. It's one game. Let's get an X-ray and an MRI right now so that we know as soon as possible what's going on, and then let's see how you feel tomorrow. And I'll bet that's what, I don't know. I'm not on Twitter, so there may be information out there that's super important that I haven't gotten to yet. But that would be my guess. That he tweaked his foot, felt it still at halftime. Trainer came up and said, "How's your foot?" And I don't know. I feel it. All right, we're putting it on ice. We're getting the MRI. Let's start this process now so that we know sooner rather than later. That would be my guess.
That would be your guess?
That would be my guess. Because he was, and the only reason I say that is because he was, it looked to me anyway, able to play. What do you guys think? Did you feel like after he did that little foot hoppy thing where he hopped for a couple of steps and then, like he was doing some sort of weird Oktoberfest jig, that then he continued to play. He ran up and down the floor, shot jump shots, shot in the paint, played defense. He didn't look to me like a guy who had suffered such a serious injury that he'd be out many days. Also, he missed 2 games with the flu, so
I'm hearing that it wasn't serious from Darvin Ham.
Okay.
But there is an MRI being done, and
right. That's what you have to do. You have to do that.
I'm going to say that they are going to sit him out Sunday because I think they feel like they could win that game. And if there's nothing majorly, affected, I should say, yes, you might maybe see him in Phoenix. If we don't have him in Phoenix, that's a loss.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that they're looking at that as, dude, if you don't play in Phoenix, we're toast. And
I hope he's looking at it that way too. I need to play in Phoenix. You know what I mean? Like I need to back up the words I said a couple seasons ago where I was like, oh, they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs ahead of us.
They might be able to get away with it on Sunday, but not on
I
Monday.
agree. I think Joe's right. I think you're both right. That's if you're gonna burn a game with no AD, you burn that one.
Again, because there's iffy on Porzingis coming back because he's had some back issues, and if Porzingis doesn't come back for that game, then you shake your head. No, Porzingis has been.
No, I mean, I was just thinking in my head, like, I mean, is it a Wednesday? Porzingis might be out.
Well, he's been playing pretty consistently up until the
but I mean, a stiff wind knocks that guy down, and he's out for 8 years.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't have the most.
No, he's not. He's not hard.
I'd still like him on our team. It would be. I think it'd be a good addition.
No.
Something also to look at in terms of Wembanyama. Wembanyama has a similar body structure.
I agree.
As Porzingis, so we want to make sure that. If that's the case, he even runs kind of like him. It's almost like a.
No, he runs so much smoother than Porzingis. He runs and he plays and he's athletic like a wing. That's I can't compare him to any center that I've seen.
No, I think you're with that Wembanyama. You have to hope that he has the body trajectory that Giannis has. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Porzingis is serious enough about the game of basketball in the NBA. I think that he has an incredible skill set. I think that he, great touch on his jump shot and all that sort of stuff. I don't think he takes his off-season training very seriously, and I think it's reflected in his injury history. It's pretty for me. It's as simple as that. And I would rather have gritty guys like we have now, who take the game seriously, take the jobs. It's a job, man. Take the job seriously, and all year round. I'm not talking about the 82 game season and now I'm going to go water ski in Bolivia or whatever people do in the summer in the NBA. But I don't get that from Porzingis. I get that he considers it all to be a chore and not in some ways a privilege. I don't know if there's been 10,000 NBA players in the history of the game. You know what I mean? You're part of an elite group of human beings who get to play, and this is true of any professional sport. You were part of an elite group of human beings, except maybe professional golf, who are like the top athletes of their era, whenever it was. And he just doesn't seem to embrace that. And I will say this in his defense. I've never paid much attention to him either. I saw his awesome workout video before he was drafted. I remember thinking it would have been cool if the Lakers had drafted him over Lonzo Ball. But I thought they were both kind of destined for multiple knee injuries because that's been their history since they started playing. And so that sort of thing typically doesn't go away. Sorry, Greg Oden. Sorry, Brandon Roy. Sorry, Bill Walton. But, you get a guy coming into the NBA and he's already had a knee issue when he was not an adult. You're rolling dice, man. You're rolling dice. I mean, yeah, there's precedent that it's worked out, but he's just so lanky. And to play, whoever drafts Wembanyama, I hope they don't put him in the paint. I hope they say, here's the basketball, go make plays. Because if they don't, they're doing the kid a disservice. That, or you have to Kobe him, which won't happen, which is develop for a year on the bench. We're not going to have people just knock you to the ground and beat you up. We're going to let you grow your body so that your body is an adult body when you go and play against adults.
That's how they played him on the wing. That's how they played him when I saw him in Henderson.
That's what they should do. But he won't be on that nice EuroLeague team that caters to his every whim. It's going to be who knows who with some, it's a whole different game in the NBA. It's a whole different game. He's got all the support in the world behind him for whatever he does on his little French team or wherever, whatever I don't know all the details about what he's an amateur right now, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't really put too much stock in what amateurs are doing. They need to show it to me at the NBA level. Even though I do feel like the EuroLeague game has caught up to the NBA in a lot of ways. I do want to, can we go back to the real game that we worried about tonight?
Yes,
I want to give Coach Ham
up now.
I want to give Coach Ham props for a great scheme against Jokic. And the Lakers have had good defensive plans and schemes in place for the Joker every time we've played them this season. And that's extremely difficult to do because I consider him to be probably the smartest basketball player in the game right now. It seems like there's a little bit of a weird transition going on between him and Jamal Murray. Obviously, they were missing MPJ, who to be honest, I think is kind of overhyped. But I thought every possession down, we made it very difficult for Jokic to get into his comfort zone, get into his sweet spots. He's really good when you just stand there, when you let him stand there and kind of hold the ball and let the team kind of run around while he waits for some kind of opening or another and exploits that opening. And we applied pressure to him consistently and constantly throughout the entire game and forced him to make quick, uncomfortable decisions. And it worked out to our advantage. I thought he had kind of a below average game for him. And the last thing I'll say before we close it up, I guess, about this Laker team right now is that I'm not going to lie. I have really grown to like this Laker team exactly as it is right now. I was, at some point today, my coworker and I, we talk a lot of basketball, and I've tried to get him to come on the show, but he's like, and I'm like, you'd be great. You'd be fantastic. What do I know? You know just as much as me. But on paper, this team is terrible. We all talked about it all summer long and all preseason long and during the 2-10 stretch about how there's just not enough pretty players on this team, guys who can score, guys who can shoot the three, the pretty stats, and myself included. And what I think none of us saw or expected either was how gritty this team is. This team has no business pulling off some of these comebacks. And if we had made 2 free throws in 2 separate games, our record would reflect the effort, which I don't think it does right now. I don't think our record reflects the effort this team puts forth on a nightly basis right now. And I know I see that look you gave me, Gerald. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this isn't.
No, I was saying it based off of what somebody in the chat room said. He said allegedly there's a pic of AD riding on a luggage cart to his car because he couldn't walk on his foot. So, keeping the pressure off his foot.
I don't know. I hope that's not the case. If that is the case, that maybe means like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks out. So then the question comes, for those of us who are addicted to the NBA trade machine or whatever trade machine you use, does that start the AD trade gear rolling? Since technically, if he's gone, I don't see the Lakers as having any hope at all whatsoever to do much of anything ever. This feels more fragile than normal. Usually he gets rolled into or somebody hits him with a steamroller and he's out for the season. But this time it seemed like he jumped up and down. And that's what was worrisome to me about it originally. Is like he jumped up and down, hopped around.
We're now going to golf right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm like, speaking of golf, Johnny 2K6, stay on topic, man. Stay on topic. And thanks.
Well, somebody mentioned in the chat that golf is a harder game to master than you would might imagine. I agree on that assessment, but getting back to the Lakers.
No, I don't. Every sport is hard to master. That's belittling. Like, okay, let's see somebody throw an 80.
I didn't say any other sport was hard to master. I just said golf was a sport that's hard to master. It's easy to play.
I thought he said it was the hardest sport to master, but maybe I misheard that.
If he did, then I don't know about that.
I think he said one of the hardest. The thing with golf that separates the pros from, let's say, the really good, just everyday players is shot making. The pros can get that ball 5 feet from the hole consistently, whereas let's say a one handicap type can get the ball on the green, but it's nowhere near the pin. That's the difference.
I mean, I agree. I mean, the intricacies of golf and the relationship between player, club, and ball is one of the more fraught with error sport combinations that exist out there. I will certainly admit to that. But I mean, it's hard to master a jump shot. It's hard to master passing a football. It's hard to master throwing a baseball. It's hard to master, the 405 freeway on a bad day. Like, life is hard to master, man.
You can't master going 5 miles an hour on the 405 going.
So everybody sees you.
I prefer 8 as a minimum.
Okay.
I'd rather not live in LA. How about that? I can master not living in LA.
Every single day, the 110 parking lot to the 405 going.
You need to master not living in LA like you did. You moved to Vegas.
I like LA. Lots to do here.
Well, I love Southern California. I wish I would have been able to stay, but it's a cost of living, unfortunately. And, I had to make some financial choices back in the 90s, and I'm glad I'm here. So
I was going to say, you don't regret your choices, do you, Gerald?
Only when I said yes to both you and Joe Soro coming on the air. But need I digress? No, I'm just kidding. Once again, look at Joe's faces.
Joe's like, just for that.
All right, let's get on out of here. But before we do, Joe, just ready to smack me. Joe, any last thoughts on the game? I mean, tomorrow we're going to find out about AD. Sunday, of course, is the game against Washington. We don't expect to have AD there at the least, if not more. Any thoughts on what the Lakers need to do if AD's out for an extended period of time?
It was after what happened in that Celtic game, the fact that they came back in the next game and bounced back, was very, very gratifying.
Yeah,
it was gratifying because I didn't talk about it a lot after the game against Boston because I was so distraught. I'd say that was probably one of the most depressing regular season losses I can remember. I think I remember the last one. It was Detroit, the last game Kwame Brown played in before we traded for Gasol. I remember that Detroit game. I only watched parts of it, but that was a depressing game. That was probably the last memory I had of a depressing regular season game because it was just one of those where you've got prime Kobe and you have Lamar Odom in his prime and you have Phil Jackson as your coach and you have these things. It's just like this one guy just won't let you try to compete. And then, things changed. In this situation, it was, how do you lose a 13-point lead with 3.5 minutes left? At the end of the day, you can sit there and blame AD for missing free throws and the Lakers team being off kilt and Russell Westbrook being crazy. You can't lose a 13-point lead in 3.5 minutes.
You can't.
You just can't at home.
Yes, you can.
At home.
You can.
And at the end of the day, when you let the dust settle and you're sitting down on the crapper or on the couch or in the car, you're like, why? Why can't you guys devise a plan to hold a 13-point lead at home with 3.5 minutes left? For God's sakes, just run the clock out and give them the ball 5 times and you're still in the lead.
I really could just imagine you having that whole monologue on the crapper right now. Like, why?
All of you on here know you've done shit like
that.
Gerald, I had to do it. It just made too much sense.
No, you didn't. Just like the 13-point lead, you could have done something
I've got to mark
differently.
it 107. Okay, there.
I made sure I stopped so you can edit it.
No, why would you edit it? It's brilliant. It's great timing.
I have to bleep it for the audio audience. Yes.
What?
So it doesn't. So our show does not become explicit for podcast listeners.
Oh, is that all you're worried about? Let's up it to explicit, baby.
No.
No.
I don't know that Gerald likes the darn.
I need all the audience I can
and
get.
The shucks.
Well, diddly two shoes for you.
If we ever want to market this as a radio show.
I get it. I'm with you. The thing is, I've always been a serious satellite radio guy, and even those guys can't really curse, even though it's not bad.
Hello says he's 6.5. Can we not use
Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
Hello.
Shout out to the UK.
Well, the funny thing is about hello is I said hello. And then he wrote back, hello.
Well, before
he said hello to himself.
Before I forget, I had a great idea to extend on the golf conversation before we head on out. Okay. On top of the Lakers convention idea I came up with, I want to go ahead and say we need to add a Lakers Fast Break golf tournament on top of that. There you go. Absolutely. I think that would be awesome. Just stack the two as part of a weekend. I don't know where you're going to do it, here in Vegas.
How often do you guys play golf?
Me,
I wish I could play more. I was supposed to play today, actually, but my schedule got really nuts, and I ended up just going to a restaurant.
Are you like a once a week guy or twice a month?
I wish. My goal. I actually have a triathlon idea. You guys tell me if this is out of whack.
Because we're on crazy ideas here at the
being in Southern California, you could probably do this. I know you can. It's just that you need to devise it. You need to prepare for it. So I have an idea on a triathlon, and it could be what do you call a four? Was it a quadrathalon? Like what's the word for four?
A
quadathlon. Let's say a quadathlon. I'll get to that in a second.
Quadrathalon.
Okay, quadrathlon. There you go. Okay, so my initial I'm going to do this before I die. It's a bucket list thing. I am going to surf in the morning.
Surf.
Hour and a half is usually when I would start to really get tired. Early surf. Then get to the car right away. Go play 18 holes.
Okay.
I'm probably going to need a cart. I'm probably going to need a cart here, especially where I'm at in Southern California.
No.
I have to because I need to get it done
quick.
No
cart. No, that's then already it's out of whack. But
okay, fine. Okay, let's say it takes 4 hours to walk. I'll walk fast.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
okay. So now 4 hours.
It's a quadrathon.
4 hours. Now I got to get the Big Bear before it gets dark.
Oh, you got plenty of time to rest in the car.
And ski. Right.
Surf, ski.
And ski.
Surf, golf, ski. Okay.
Surf, golf, ski. And then the fourth one, I didn't think about until years later. I'm like, how about I play? Because you could play basketball in a gym after that at night. So doing all four in one day.
Well, okay. My only problem
Johnny
with that
2K6, you can do a cart, but only use a 7-iron.
I know that.
Look, man, I use a 7-iron.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I use a 7-iron pretty much even on sandwich stuff because I like to get the ball. I like to get the ball rolling to the.
7-iron's classic, man.
Yeah. No, I'm with that. Driver 7 and putting.
Okay, so let's clarify. After on the same weekend.
Same
day. No, this is all in one day.
Golf tournament. Hold on, that's Lakers Fast Break Golf. Hold on, Lakers Fast Break Convention and Golf Tournament on that weekend. We will also be doing the annual Joe Soro Quadrathalon. I think
that sounds better.
Okay, Quadrathalon, and that is surfing,
golf, ski,
basketball
in the same day.
And then hospital for Joe right after.
Right. No. Then we go to Sizzler to celebrate.
No. Right next to the forum.
Hey.
Next to the forum.
Gerald. I did the I did the Catalina run.
How long
with a ski? What was it? 6 months ago.
How long are you skiing for?
I got the crap beat out of me in those wakes.
Yeah, that's a good question. How long are you skiing for if you're a big bear?
Probably an hour or two because I gotta get the thing going. Okay. So it's gonna be an hour to hour and a half of surfing, 4 hours of golf, and let's say an hour to 2 hours of skiing. And then at that point,
okay.
How much basketball is left in you?
I think I'd be fine.
Okay. I think I'd be fine.
I'd be fine. Honestly, I'd be fine.
Are you starting or are you coming off the bench?
No. I'm starting. It would work. I can make it happen. I can do it.
Okay, first off, I'm gonna critique this logically. All right, I'm gonna assume that it could happen. The type of thing, those type of things are usually races of some sort. So I think you might want to refine it and find a sport complex that has a wave pool, a golf course, a ski
simulator
facility or mountain.
But that's fake. That's faking it. You need to go the legit way.
Listen, you're adding a drive from Santa Monica to Big Bear.
No. It would be from Del Mar to Big Bear, which is not that far away.
It's 3 hours.
And you're hoping it snows and also a good
I'd start surfing.
And that somebody's big rig doesn't turn over on the 15.
I'd start surfing at 6. Let's say I go an hour surfing, okay? Then I get to the golf course by 8. I'm on the first tee at 8. I go until noon. Then I got a van. As soon as I'm off 18, I get in the van, start getting ready to get to the mountain. I get there around, let's say, 3 o'clock. Ski for about an hour.
Joe, I will race you. I will race you through this whole thing. And I don't even know how to surf, but I will race you.
I'm going to give it a shot. As soon as I have the resources and the time to do that, that's gonna be an attempt that I'm gonna do. And then after that, playing basketball like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, however that ends up turning out, that's fine. I wouldn't mind doing that. Again, I've done the Catalina ski run, guys. I got if it wasn't for my years of lifting weights, I think my arms would have fell off because I tried to. When I was holding on to that thing was powerful too. One of my buddies let me roll with one of their really like high-end skis.
Is there any risk of being eaten by a shark?
No, not at all.
Then you can't consider
when you're having fun, guys, when you're having fun, your mentality's different.
I don't know.
I came back, but I've again, like I said, in my life when it came to physicality, whether it was working out, sports, whatever, sporting activities, it's your body is conditioned. It's kind of like muscle memory. I didn't come back. And you're talking from Long Beach to Catalina. It's a 2 to 3 hour run, right?
Yeah.
So you're going there.
A powerful engine.
Yeah, you're going there. And I couldn't go past because this is the first time I ever did that run. 30 miles an hour was my max. My buddies were going like 50, 60 miles an hour. I'm like, guys, I can't go faster than this because I feel like I'm going to fly 80 feet in the air. I just couldn't do it. So with that, though, was my forearms. I mean, I was just – was like constant pressure for 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah, the ocean is not smooth.
And I came back, and that was 2 hours in to 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours back. And I got home that day, and I was like, wow, I don't feel like my arms are sore. So yeah,
my one critique, Joe, is it's not really a race, so I don't see how you can call it a quadrathalon. So you need to maybe I think it's as simple as a rebrand and just call it the Joe Soros 4 completely unrelated sports competition against himself.
Hello says Mr. Ox. You sound pretty passionate about this. I would quit your job to chase your dream. Or you mean you want him to sell his
random look. It's just a random fun thing. I'm not trying to go. I'm not gonna go do a GoPro and go, bro, I'm doing the triathlon.
You should definitely do that. Streaming. No, you should definitely do that.
That's fine.
I will go down. I'll tell you what.
I got a GoPro.
Jamie and I will record it all. I will.
No, I'm competing against him. I've already said I'm going to compete against him.
Then I'll record you both. Yes.
Okay. We are going to do that in the future, guys. In the near future,
I'll live stream it to Lakers Fast Break.
Get ready.
I mean, I might get eaten by the shark because I'm a terrible.
I'm not afraid of sharks.
But Hello will be entertained.
I'm afraid of sharks. Yeah,
I'm not afraid of sharks. Or
Valuetainment, as he came up with earlier.
Valuetainment. I like sharks.
You have a sweater, Joe. It's a joke from earlier.
I'll have a sweater, but it's not going to be from a garage sale.
Oh,
sorry.
What's wrong with garage sale?
I don't wear other people's clothes.
You say that.
Joe bet
somebody tried it on in the store before you.
It's just not. I'm just not sure about that right now.
Well, we've been talking golf. We've been talking sweaters, and oh, by the way, the Lakers did win, pulling away once again.
Great win tonight.
Just great win for the Lakers.
Yeah, it was.
Best win of the season because of how it could have gone?
I'd say the Milwaukee win. I
think that was more definitive?
Okay. Yeah.
I would say
that deserves one of these, G. Good job.
Yeah. You're right.
I'd say
this would be the second most definitive win of the season.
I know Mark Jackson was saying that on tonight's show, but I disagree with him. I'd say the Milwaukee win is that much more special because it's on the road. The Lakers were not in as good a shape, with their whatever was going on. I think that they were really unsure about themselves as a team. I think they're a little bit more. Right. I think they know themselves a little bit more now since that road trip about who they are and what they can do.
That's fair.
I'm still not happy about when the Lakers fans shout MVP at Austin Reeves. Give me a break on that. But
it's fun.
I will say though, again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to us the entire way. For everything that we talked, all Lakers and not so much Lakers. We're just having a good time here. We're in a good mood when we're talking.
We're fun guys.
Yes, when we're talking surfing.
Hey, we have fun.
When we're talking quadrathalons and surfing and golf and sweaters and conventions. When we're talking all that. Oh, Hello says you lads are underrated. Alternate shows are blah 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 blah. Hopefully our blah 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 is entertaining or valuetaining. Valuetainment. That's what we're all about.
We're expert blatherers
for value. That's what we're all about. Valuetainment. That's the key word of the day.
If we do a radio show, will I be allowed to sip a beverage?
Yeah, I don't see why. As long as you're not advertising it, I don't think.
Well, you'll notice that I often don't show the label.
Yeah, I don't care.
Is that Blue Moon?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I won't
say
the name on to our audio.
Fancy schmancy.
I love a good Pilsner. What can I say?
You're moving up in the world. I can see.
I don't know the difference.
Oh,
Ale, lager, Pilsner, stout. No difference. Not even a little bit.
I agree, Johnny. That game was so special because turnovers. That game was.
I don't know what red, black, white, or blue is.
I'm going to say you saw
color blindness is real, America.
I'm going to say. Let me say this definitively. You saw the best of this Lakers team in this current format that Jamie's talked about. In this current roster, you saw the best of that team in that Milwaukee game. And I don't think it can get any better than that. I really don't think, that's the best you're going to get. And it did happen to be one of the best teams in the NBA on the road. And I think that's something that you can take a lot away from it. And tonight's game, you can take a lot away from as well. Can we keep it rolling? That's going to be tough. We'll wait and see. Tomorrow, I will go ahead and retweet whatever the decision is on Anthony Davis's foot and the speculation, whether or not he does another X-ray, MRI, whatever the extent is, however they evaluate it, we'll see. I have a feeling that Joe is right. He will not be owing any sweaters, and that probably AD will probably sit out on Sunday. against Washington, which would
oh
be
man, I missed you betting a sweater.
Yes, earlier. Yes. And I said that Joe would probably go, if he had to go ahead and cough up a sweater, he would just go to the nearest garage sale and just pick the first, moth-eaten one he would find.
Now it all makes sense. Then you definitely have to make it like one of those old, very light grandma sweaters that you would actually never be caught dead in, because that would be.
Johnny 2K6 says
how about this? I'll wear one of those Lloyd Christmas turtlenecks.
Yes.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yes, I'm all into that.
Johnny, he is probably still in Toronto traffic after attending the lecture.
Oh yeah,
of Lakers History 101. So hopefully, if you didn't get a chance to check it out, please do so. It was a great class, by the way. Everybody was great. The classroom was great. Professor Grice and Professor Soro, they were great. Professor Soro was great. Professor Grice was great. Yeah.
That's some traffic.
If you want to hear more
Toronto,
about our thoughts on the Vlade Divac, Kobe Bryant trade and how that affected the Lakers franchise, please go ahead and check out the previous episode. But yeah, guys, it's been a great time. Tomorrow, again, we'll find out, and I'll retweet that at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. Hopefully, I will also be able to post that on Lakers Fast Break on Facebook. So please like that page as well. You can also check out this video. If you're not on YouTube, for some reason you haven't subscribed already, you'll get the latest notifications when you do. But if you're somewhere else like Facebook, Twitter, or at the Lakerholics group on Facebook, you'll be able to see this there as well. But guys, before we head on out, any last thoughts? Because next time around, it's Sunday against Washington.
Bring this effort.
Yep, I agree.
This was the number one win for the role players. They came through when they needed to. So if you wanted to pick best game of the year, yes, when it came to the secondary role players. And obviously Thomas Bryant came through.
Thomas Bryant was dominating for a while.
Yes.
Nobody would have picked Thomas Bryant to outplay Nikola Jokic if you said, no matter what criteria you put before them. Jokic is going to dominate, because he should. But Thomas Bryant outplayed him. Thomas Bryant outplayed the Joker. And that's great for him, great for the Lakers. Couldn't be happier.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Penny My Cat, who always catches us if he's not here live with us on the team replay. So I know he'll go ahead and catch us on the team replay. So I wanted to always give, as one of our longtime viewers, him a big shout out. Also as well, wanted to go ahead and let everybody know we truly appreciate everyone out there that follows us wherever you can. Thanks so much always for going ahead and supporting us anytime you can. Please go ahead and continue to do so right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Chris Lee, who's on our Facebook, thanks so much for joining us on Facebook. Jordan, also as well, great to have you there as well. Thank you so much for doing so. Joshua Dietz, our super fan on Facebook, big shout out to you as well. But
you have been our super fan on Facebook, Josh.
How is Laker Tom? I last spoke to him on this past weekend. I know he was still coming back around to shape as far as his illness. I know you talk to him more because he insults you more than I do. That's I'm number 2 on his insult list. You're number 1.
His passive aggressiveness towards my my lack of enthusiasm that a trade is going to happen, and I'm still completely unenthusiastic that a trade is going to happen. So don't.
So how is he? How is he doing?
He's good. He's fiery. He's pissed that there's no trades happening, which I don't understand why one would get so worked up about it. But because it's not, for 2 reasons. One, I would challenge people to name, other than the Pau Gasol trade, a mid-season trade that has completely altered a franchise's trajectory.
Jamie, that's why you need to be here every day. I keep saying this.
But
everyone's like, well, what about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? What about
happened over the summer? Over the summer.
Pay attention to what I'm saying. Stop thinking
season trade that completely altered the franchise's course.
That trade altered the NBA for 5 years.
Yeah, agreed.
We've now become a thing, Joe.
5
Joel Soro
star reviews.
5 things like
wherever
you get your podcast.
Wherever you get your.
I love the fact that Johnny 2K6's blend us into a Joel Soro.
That was my name when I hosted the show.
Joel, isn't that Superman's dad?
Joel Soroford.
Oh, that's right, because he checked out that episode recently. Yeah, he did, and he commented on it. Yeah, I remember.
Johnny remembers.
Yeah, absolutely. He checked it out.
Johnny's a digger. Johnny digs into the archives.
Yeah, Absolutely. He's much appreciated. Again,
are you a vinyl fan, Johnny? Are you like
he's a big contributor on Lakers Ball.
Yes.
Nice.
Johnny,
come by Lakerholics, man. We
hello out in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Of course, Johnny 2K6. Zangerstein, you've been incredible. Rodney, I know you've been working hard. You and Richard, long hours. Richard said he was doing a 16-hour day. You know what? When you
welcome
guys
to the club,
home,
baby. Welcome to the club.
After a long day of work and you come home to us to watch us, you know, that's a big compliment to us as well. We truly
and I wish I could find you a union job so that that shit doesn't happen because
that's another one. Okay, 125. I got to go ahead and check. Yeah, okay, there's another one. So that's 2. I got to.
What? Oh, did I swear just now?
Yes, you did.
Excuse
that was a quick one. It was a quick one. It's like under the radar, very quick if you missed it.
That's just how I talk in life, man. I really have to. I have to turn on a filter when I come.
No worries, no worries. That radio offer is dead though. But God,
which Marcel, means we're going explicit, baby. Oh yeah,
Marcel, thanks for appreciate it so much. No, that's why they got a dump button.
The cream of the crop rises to the top, baby. Oh yeah.
Thanks so much. Great comments by you. Appreciate everyone as far as being part of it. Of course, Zangerstein, always. Thank you so much for being part of it. Howard Hill, as always, thank you so much. CB with some great stuff earlier in the chat. You guys and gals are the best Lakers chat room anywhere out there. Lakers Nation has got nothing on you.
And I'd like to say that I now feel bad about swearing because we do have a 6.5-year-old here listening to the show.
Yes, from the UK.
I know. I'm sorry, England. I should be better. And I'd like to say that since you are in England, I blame you for all of America's problems.
Thanks. Now you just ruined our entire I could see the Apple podcast when they show me the demographics, or excuse me, on Anchor, and I could see like they're there one day and all the audience is gone the next in the UK. It's like they show you they show you like in the whole country by country. They got the picture of the country and how much they do. I can see all of a sudden now this barren space now for listenerships in the UK after that.
My sister actually just came back from London, and I have been to London, and I enjoyed the city very much. I had everybody there is tremendous, and I was just
way to try to make up for it. You just lost our entire UK.
I will say there's one fan who I don't really appreciate. Some guy Greg out there in Ohio who doesn't know how to park. Learn to park, Greg. Learn to park. Pretend like it's a city.
Okay, fair enough indeed. But great to have you back, my friend. Once again, it's Yummy Swoot in the house. Jamie Sweet, go ahead and check out his 5 Things articles. It'd be a cheery article for once at Lakerholics.com. Well, kind of cheery.
Mostly. I mean, AD got hurt.
Okay, until Laker Tom rips it apart in the comments. But
no, it's usually pretty well. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Absolutely,
it's inconsequential.
Hello says 4-star review for that comment.
You know what? That's traditional English kindness.
Hello says he's gonna go. Enjoy, lads. I have preschool starting. He's got preschool starting soon.
Pip cheerio and all that rubbish.
I thought this was a preschool, but I digress. But once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. If you have any questions for us, at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter, of course, right there in the comments on YouTube and Facebook, and of course, Lakers Fast Break at yahoo.com. So for Joe Soro, Jamie Sweet, this is Gerald Glassford. Once again, the Lakers do win 126-108. And again, we will be updating you on the status of Anthony Davis tomorrow. So stand by at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter and Lakers Fast Break on Facebook. But we will be back for the post game for the game against Washington. The game itself starts at 6:30. We'll be on after right around 9 p.m.-ish, right around there, Pacific time. Of course, right here, it's right around ish, right there. Depends on how quick or how, not so quick the game ends. And after that, of course, on Monday, the Lakers head over to Phoenix. That's at a 6 p.m. starting time. Just want to let you know, they played 2 games in less than 24 hours. Can they do it? Can they come away with 2 wins? We'll find out. Johnny Tukey said, oh my gosh. 4 pounds equals 4.86 USD. So 4 stars equals 4.86 stars equals 5 stars. Hey. Oh, there you go.
I like your style, Johnny.
Cheers, Mr. Gerald. Appreciate it. Again, cheers, Mr. Joe, as well. Thanks so much for joining us right here. And once again, we'll be back on Sunday after the game, being the best in Valuetainment right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Are you sure you're not going to go get a sweater?